Yeah. 2016, which is 7 years ago now.
Yes.
Y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
But in public, the couple, who married in 1997, denied the gossip about their marriage. This interview on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen was taped a year after Will and Jada separated.
So how long have you guys been together?
23 years.
Wow. That's amazing. How do you keep it hot?
How do I keep it hot? Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm baffled, really.
Yeah, right.
Over the next several years, Jada and Will kept up the appearance of a committed married couple. They even faced a scandal when Jada had what she called an entanglement with a family friend. Neither let the public know they had already split.
So I guess my question is, I feel like you're a straight talker.
I am.
Except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us
Yeah.
how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
Sure.
Oh, why a fracture? That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
Jada says she considered a legal divorce, but could never go through with it.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
A great love, or if Will finds another great love.
There's no finding another great love, and I think that's the point. It's like we are in a place now that we are in a deep healing space, and we are really concentrating on healing the relationship between us.
So it may not be the divorce on paper anymore?
There's no divorce on paper.
I mean, not on paper. There might not be a divorce in theory anymore?
Yeah, no, we really have been working hard.
Oh.
See?
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. We might
I was trying to take. Well, I totally missed that on the whole. That's the whole thing.
So wait, just so I'm 100% clear, you were divorced, not on paper, but now we might be a point where we're back together.
We are working very hard at bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership. Yes, because here's the thing about husband-wife marriage for me, my healing process. I came into that with very specific ideas, right? Very specific ideas that were blocks to me just seeing Will as who he is. He can't be this perfect, idealized husband.
Yes, of course.
I have to be able to accept him for the human that he is. He accepts me for the human that I am, and we want to love each other there.
Okay, so you might like live in the same house and have the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the only part. That's the only part in the special that I felt like got lost.
Well, guess what? It is found. We found it. Tell me.
So are y'all living together?
It's just this beautiful connection. We will.
Look at that.
Not right now.
But you will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's.
Why do you say that with such
Clarity.
Because that's what it's gonna be.
That's where it's headed.
Yeah.
And you both are on that page.
Yeah, and but right now I really do enjoy my space.
Yeah.
I've been living
alone.
I am my mother's only child.
Yeah.
Right? And so having this time that I've had to myself has been fantastic. Just to get to know me, even to have my house exactly how I want it. I don't have to be like, well, what color do you want this wall? You know what I mean? I can just do it.
You're the chooser.
I'm the chooser.
You're the chooser.
Right.
So when you imagine your life back together, because I'm sure you've seen it, how does that look to you?
We don't know yet.
You'll build that.
We'll build that.
Now that last video, that was recently. Those first two was from videos that I personally made 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And all I got to say is Jada Pinkett Smith is determined to humiliate, emasculate, cuck, whatever you want to say, Will Smith. Now, I'm not bashful to admit it. In the 90s, even though some of you brothers won't admit it, in the 90s, I had a bit of a crush on Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, was she like Holly Berry level, or Nia Long level, or even Lisa Ray McCoy level, or Vivica A. Fox level? No. But was she butt ugly? No. And she was actually a decent actress at one point. Then she met Will Smith, who I have also gone in on a few times. But let me say this. At this point, any sympathy for Will, and this ain't about Will really, but any sympathy that I did have for Will, not anymore. Man, you choose to stay in this relationship. And on top of that, you're not exactly a saint if what Tommy Davidson is to be believed, and after what we saw with Chris Rock a few years ago at the Oscars, which that's going to go on your tombstone. Will Smith, clean rapper, biggest box office draw ever, or one of the biggest box office draws ever. Man that destroyed his career for slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars over a woman that don't even like him, let alone love him. What a fate to leave on this earth. And Regina's here because I had to have somebody, because I could go off on the rails. But I'm like, dude, there are porn stars that don't even emasculate their men like this. Good grief. And now you're saying you having the man live separately from you. He said, well, I'll decide when he can move back. When he is the reason, the main reason you even have the level of lifestyle that you have. Because let's be honest, Jada, at one time your career was heading skyrocket. Let's be honest, it was. And you probably, and I still stand by that, you would have kept going the way you're going, you might have beat Holly Berry to the Oscar. And I really mean that in all sincerity. But you the one chose to get barefoot, butt naked with Will Smith. You chose to get impregnated. You chose to marry him. When at any point you could have closed your legs, put your clothes back on, and said, thank you, but no thank you. Even after you got pregnant with your son, you could have said, thank you, but no thank you to marriage. We'll just co-parent, parent together. But you went ahead and accepted it. You have no one to blame but you. You can be angry and bitter all you want. You can wish to the gods that you could resurrect Tupac so y'all can be together, even though Tupac didn't like you like that. And many people have rebutted all those stories. But there you are. But now you're determined to get your revenge by emasculating the man. Because you blame him for all your problems when the problems is simple. Look in the mirror. He couldn't have stopped you. He might have a lot of influence and all, but he couldn't have stopped you. Probably could have turned around and got him from stalking years down the road, but that's a whole other subject entirely. But good grief, if you are that determined to take I was going to say the Highlander katana sword, but no, you're not taking the katana sword. You're taking the damn claymore. If you're that determined, just get a divorce. You got more than enough money and assets. Just take it and go. I mean, Will Smith will probably have to downsize, but he ain't going to be at the welfare office. He ain't going to be down here with us mere mortals. So, after you've seen what we seen and heard, and you said you watched O'Shea Duke Jackson's video. I've seen Jew Almighty's video. I thought they was just reaction because it was a slow news day. But turns out the footage in there is actually recent. But they did show the old clip from about 2 years ago. And I just showed my old clips, which, by the way, had my music still on there. There was no way to remove it, so I had to leave it on there. So if you hear a little music mixed up with the music for this video in the background, my apologies for that. Try to balance it out best I could. But what do you think all this? I don't know if we could add much more than we've already added.
I will say that I watched O'Shea Duke Jackson's video on Jada Pinkett Smith before going to work. And there is one thing I do disagree with. And he actually had a statement, probably a TikTok from this woman saying that most women that emasculate their men like that are women that disrespect themselves. Now, the reason why I disagree is because we all know that Jada Pinkett is a narcissist. Like, she is a textbook 100% narcissist. And when it comes to narcissists, yes, they have very fragile egos. Yes, they are very self-conscious. But they put themselves higher on a pedestal above everyone else. Even when they know that they're inept. They don't want you to see that they are. So their egos are practically through the roof. Do I think that she's disrespecting herself and feels like she is? No. Because she considers herself higher than everyone else. She doesn't consider it disrespect. She considers it as that, you owe me this. I have done this for you. You will owe me this. Even though she's done nothing to elevate his career. So, for that reason, she's probably fine being on her own because she, in her own mind, she thinks that she can get somebody else. She thinks that she really wanted to have someone, she can get someone with no help. I hate to break it to you, but you're 55, you're a mom, and you're pretty much past your prime.
Yes.
Not to mention the fact that, and I'm not saying that women with shorter hair or no hair don't get dates. But the fact is you're 55. You're a much older lady. You're almost up there to seniorhood. And not a lot of men are going to want that.
Nope.
Unless they probably want hit it and quit it, but they're not looking to date. They're not looking to marry. They're not looking to court anybody like you. You're hitting the wall. Like, you are about to hit that wall and hit the wall hard. And narcissists will never come to that conclusion that the wall is there. They will plow into that wall and they keep going into that wall, pushing it, thinking it's gonna move or treating it like it's invisible. So I don't think she feels like she's disrespecting herself. And in reverse, she's disrespecting Will. She thinks Will is beneath her. There's a difference. So I don't think that's a statement at all. She just thinks that everybody is below her and she's higher. And that's how most narcissists think. I know that there are different tiers, but in this case of her behavior, she literally thinks that Will is beneath her because of his behavior, how he is as a person, that he's a clown, that he's a bit corny. She thinks that he's down here, even though he makes far more money than her. And the reason why she has that lifestyle, and I do agree with O'Shea with this, the fact that you have that lifestyle is on the back of that man and the decades that he has been on screen making that money. You wouldn't have that lifestyle without him.
Yeah. Does he have an ego? Yes. Is he somewhat controlling? I think so, based on what we saw with the Chris Rock incident.
Oh no, he definitely is a control.
And what Tommy Davidson said in his own book many years before that, on the set of Woo, when he said that Will Smith tried to intimidate him, even though Jada wanted to go further with their characters than what they did. Tommy wasn't comfortable with that because she was a married woman, and he actually tried to be a gentleman. But then Will decided he was going to confront Tommy instead of confronting the one that was actually the problem. And I always found it funny. You had all this heat for Chris Rock and for Tommy Davidson, but you didn't have, as far as we know anyway, you didn't have this heat for August, who actually got butt naked and plowed your woman. Okay, that's the nicest way I can put it. He got butt naked with your woman and plowed your woman. He saw her from head to foot. Actually spent more time with her. He probably knew her better than you did at one time. I mean, and people might say, well, Irvin, you be doing this and that. You used to enjoy that. I was like, yeah, but that was just fun. And quite frankly, when it comes to enjoying, let's say, adult entertainment, which I've never been a little shy about, I realize what them people do is just business. Most of them, they do what they do. They enjoy what they do. But as soon as they're done, they go home. Jada and August went way past that. They went way past that. They were into, definitely, she calls it entanglement. Let's just call it an affair. That's what it was. If it was just an arrangement, it would have been business as usual. Y'all talk a little bit, chat a little bit, then y'all go to the back, get natural. Y'all get it all out your system. Then you go take a shower, get dressed, and you be like, peace, see you next week. But that, y'all was going out on dates, y'all was going out to events. Yeah, that's not an entanglement. That's pretty much an affair.
Which kind of lets me know it is a possibility that Will Smith did give him permission to date his wife.
Yeah, and I do look at August a little bit sideways, like, you was kind of a snitch, man.
It's not even kind really snitching. It's not really snitching if you feel like it's already out in the open. Like if he didn't legitimately tell him, you know, hey, keep this under your hat, I don't want this to get out, then that's a different story. But a part of me feels like that the only person that can make that call is Jada.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he did give her permission, and even if he did not want that to get out, she probably didn't care. So that entire marriage is messed up. It's not anything that be like life goals or all that stuff they put down for it when they talk about black love, which is the biggest insult of black love. But the thing is, you have two people that are together for different reasons. He wanted to have the perfect marriage, the perfect family, which doesn't exist. And he had that image in his brain because of his feeling of ineptitude. And with Jada, let's be honest, she probably was always like that. She was probably had a very overly dominant, maybe semi-masculine personality. She's always been that type of person. But the thing is, with her saying that her mom forced her into marriage, forced her to have kids and all this, I'm like, no, honey, no. You were a grown woman.
You were a grown woman by that point.
I'm sorry. You were a grown woman making your own money, and according to you, you sold drugs, which I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, okay. But you had your own money coming in, whether it's acting or otherwise. So your mom really didn't have a say-so over your life. So you made that decision on your own, and you gotta live with it. And the one thing about narcissists is that narcissists do not they don't hold themselves accountable. Accountability doesn't exist in their brain. They're going to blame you. They're going to blame your environment. They're going to think you're the reason why that you put me here when it was their decisions that put them there. But they will not hold themselves accountable.
Nope.
Ever.
Yeah, and like I said, I refuse to have any sympathy anymore for Will Smith because he chooses to stay in that relationship when he could have gotten out a long time ago. Like I always say, very jokingly, dude, you should have went with the Barbie. Referring to the rumored fling Will Smith may have had before she got married and had her own child. That he may have had with a then single Margot Robbie.
But I will say to his defense, he's been with Jada for nearly 30 years. So the fact that he was with her for 3 decades, it's going to be really difficult to divide assets. And to be honest with you, it's on him. And yes, this is a trope that was in the black community, even around the time when I was a teen, that having a prenup was a no-no. That just means that you don't trust your woman. You don't trust your man having a prenup. It's business. If you make more than $1 million or 6 figures coming in, you better protect your assets. No pun intended. Everything you got, whether it is a house, a property, vehicle, business, you protect yourself. Not just women, but men too, especially men. And especially if that man is the breadwinner. And if that woman came in with nothing, in my opinion, she didn't put nothing down, or at least help build you up, or put into your business or into your dreams, then she's not owed anything. She should walk out with nothing. But the fact is, Will was an idiot. He went by that whole stupid trope. And even Steve Harvey's guilty of this because he had that on his show when his show was still on the air about prenups being bad. And he made a decision not to have one. It's on you for that. Now you're developing a post-nup, trying to get all that situated, which is a hot mess because at 30 years worth of assets you gotta divide. And y'all are in California, which is worse because that means that she practically gets everything you made split.
One of the most notorious for ignoring even prenups, let alone post-ups. I mean, go look at the situation with Janet Jackson and what was that one dude she was married to in the 90s?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget his name, but she had a prenup with Renee managed to get some of that thing, if not the whole thing, thrown out. He managed to get some of that reduced.
The thing is in California, if you get married there, you're going and you don't have anything to back that up, whether you have a prenup or a postnup, it's 50-50. Down the middle. Everything down the middle. If he's worth $400 million, that means she gets 2. She gets half. And if she wants to keep a home, then that'll be her home, and then they have to sell everything else and split it 50-50. It's going to be a nightmare because that is 30 years of asset dividing. And it has nothing to do with the kids because the kids are grown. That's one saving grace of that whole thing. But the worst part about it is that you got a whole bunch of properties either onshore or offshore. You have money accounts, you have emergency funds, you have stock options, whatever he has in assets, he has to divide 50% to her. So I get why he don't want to get divorced, even though divorce was never an option because in his mind it's considered failure. But I think in this case, it's more about money.
Yeah, and dude, quit thinking divorce means failure. Right now, you staying in that marriage is failure.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because yes, staying in a marriage is a huge mistake, a big L on your end.
Yeah.
And yes, divorce does mean that you failed the marriage and it don't work and you have to start over. Or at least just completely cut ties and admit it doesn't work. Yes, it means you lost. I'm not gonna, it does. No one wants to admit that, but marriage means you failed. But at least you acknowledge that you have, and you have to walk away from that and just refresh. That's just what you have to do. You got to take that L. And no one likes taking the L if they have a massive ego, which they both have. And narcissists will never take that L. They're going to wait for you to make your move. They want to point at you for taking that L. They're not going to look at themselves. So Jada's never going to be the one to sign that paper because her ego's way too big. She's waiting for Will to make his move. And she knows he never will.
Yeah. So, yeah, this recent statement, not really surprised. I got a whole slew of videos on Will and Jada talking about that. So, yeah.
They are an exhausting couple.
Yeah. And that's really all we got to say on that. I mean, like I said, I've known swinger couples that were more united than these two.
And they are draining and not in a good way.
Yes. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said at the beginning of this video, well, at the beginning of this part of this video, at one time, Jada was a big one that I had a crush on back in the 90s. Now, she could pay me enough to totally fix up my house.
No.
Just to, well, let's just say, have relations with me, and I would turn it down. Why? Because I don't want that poison she got anywhere near me, even if I could use the money.
I would look at you side-eye even if you said yes.
Yeah, but no. I wouldn't want that poison anywhere near me, even if I could use the money. I mean, that's how important. Like they say, not all money's good money, man.
Nobody needs that drama.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really all I got to say on this. Yeah, we out.